Good morning, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Daily Market Commentary. I am your host, Chuck Fulkerson. It is March the 1st, and I think a lot of people are maybe ready for February to be over, or maybe they want to keep it going. We are coming off of a fairly big move yesterday, which was primarily spurred by interest rate fears, but in reality, it was simply that the demand could not keep up with the supply in the equity market. So let's go ahead and dive right into it. For those of you new to the channel, we do the same thing every day. We look at the same 10 to 12 futures markets, identifying potential turning points and looking for possible trade opportunities. So let's dive right in. Starting with the S&P. So looking at the ES. So yesterday we'd identified an area that we thought may be a bit of a reversal opportunity right through here. And I had identified this as a potential turning point, but said that in reality, if you get a better shot, you may be better off taking a look at the Nasdaq. And the Nasdaq did get us that quick entry on this breakout through here, and then it came right back down through it. So really nothing of the long side was effective yesterday. We did get a little entry into this area here, but remember, whenever we get these kind of an entry, your target's going to be the opposing fair price value area. Well, that would just be right there. So this area price came in and then immediately came out, reached what would be its general target, and then has since fallen through in the overnight hours. So we're going to remove this area here as well. So all in all, when you've got an overall bullish trend and your trades are set up to be generally in a bullish environment, and the market decides to completely shift directions, you're going to get stopped out on some of those positions, and that's okay. I'm using hourly, 4-hour, and 1-hour charts to be a little bit more strategic, so that allows us for a lot bigger winners that you can continue to run for multiple days. And I'd rather have trades that are winners run for multiple days and losers that I'm out in an hour or 2 hours, right? Because that's really the over time, that's going to be the secret to longevity, is getting those long-term moves to kind of go your way. So I'll take a couple of jabs to the chin, so long as I can land that knockout blow when indeed the reversals do come in our areas. So for now, I've still got some areas in play. We do still have a potential bullish reversal area right here in the S&P. It's a very tight little area, basically based on some of the volatility we've had recently, but it is still pretty valid. Looking at this on a bigger picture on a daily chart, we could put in a reversal right in this area, and this would be a higher swing low unless we break below here. If we break below this area here, we will have put in a lower swing low, but it's still a higher swing high. So this is the picture of the beginning of basing. That's really what this is, the picture of the beginning of basing. And I know a lot of you have kind of been looking for that basing as an opportunity, over the last couple of weeks. I've spoken to a number of people in there. They're really kind of feeling like, okay, well, we were a little overcooked in this straight up move, and now as we came screaming back down, this is a wide range for price to just kind of stay between for a while. And so I think that's a fair assessment to have. And so it might be, that there's some intraday opportunities, but these daily charts, these are fairly large daily candles, especially compared to what we had the entire year of 2017. Crude oil, and really crude oil is what stemmed this gigantic move to the downside, as we had a rising trend line, and I tweeted about this yesterday. So much for that rising trend line, as we came smoking right down through it. Came to this 15-minute area here just a little bit ago, and if we look at this on the 15-minute time period, you'll see we came into it, base, and then came right back out of it. So it's just everything is just falling through this morning. Really, nothing is holding on for any amount of strength. And I will tell you, had I been awake when that thing broke through, then I may have changed my mindset on that because of the basing just above that area here. So kind of keep that in mind. I will tell you, I didn't even have that trade set up because I frankly just didn't think that we would fall quite that far to get into that level. So I didn't even have that thing preset. So I need to remove our trend line here. We still have our short entry right up in here. Looking at this on the 4-hour chart, I'll actually move to the daily for right now. Looking at this on the daily chart, you know, we could see a little bit of a reversal of crude oil right in through here. We are coming to a potential spot, but we do have in crude oil now officially lower swing low and lower swing high. So, you know, I had for a while that I've got an eventual price target of 80 in crude oil, which we very well still could get to. You know, there's no overhead resistance to stop us from getting there once we get above that $65, $66 a barrel area. But I've got to always play the evidence, which is telling me, and at the moment we've got a lower swing high, and then this officially is a lower swing low, and that lower swing low is continuing. Looking at gold. So in gold here, we had another breakout low in gold. And you know, we're seeing all of the commodities fall as well as the equities fall. And really that all starts with strength in the dollar. Strength in the dollar is what will cause all of these commodities to continue their move down. So if we anticipate continued strength in the dollar, then we will anticipate these things continuing to fall. 1300 is still nice whole round number support for gold. We also have a little area up here that could be, oops, wrong drawing tool. A little area up in there that could be an opportunity for a sell if indeed price returns back to this region. This was where the breakout occurred below this little basing in through here. This is the kind of basing that the breakout that we want to see, right? Base, boom, breakout starts to run down. So I've got this area here highlighted. This can be an area to look at a little bit later in the day today. Looking at our bonds and currency markets. So our bond market's continuing to rally up just a little bit. We do have a sell potential area right in here. Did not, you know, we caught the breakout on this move down here, move the stop down, take some profits. That was a nice little trade. And now we're waiting on price to kind of come back up into this range right there. As far as the Aussie goes, the Aussie, we are sitting just above our potential entry point. It's not quite there yet. I'm going to add this level up here as a potential reversal point. Just be aware of the arrival back into that zone. And then the euro, we're getting into it literally right now. We've just got a touch, and we've started to get a little bit of a go out of it. But the arrival into here, I would manage that stop very tightly. Manage your stop pretty tightly, but at this one could still hold on. And really that was found, if we go back to a 4-hour chart, way back in here off this 4-hour area. This could break through just based on this fairly weak arrival, and then we might have to look into this area right here. But this was found off of the 4-hour level, that little bit of fair price value area right in here. Canadian dollar, we got the breakdown below this 78.26 area, and it is continuing its move down. So this one is still rolling for those of you that were able to catch that one. So that one's still moving down nicely. And like I said, you want to get out of your losers in an hour, but you want to stay in your winners for a much longer period of time to get those bigger gains. And that's what that Canadian dollar is showing us at the moment. Great British Pound price is still kind of falling. We've got an area down to this 35.77 region to look at. Japanese yen got stopped out for a small loss 2 days ago. What am I looking at now? What I'm looking at now is a potential breakout to the upside. So if we do see some further, if we do see that the commodities and the dollar start to get that, you know, that inverse, then we may see a pop up in the Japanese yen, and I'd look for a long above this region here. You know, I'm going to move that up just a smidge. Actually, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to change this to a dashed line. And the reason for that is because one of my rules is room to roam. And I do feel like there's going to be room to roam because I don't really think that this is a great reversal area, because I think it's a retest of this area here. But it is that triangular shape. So I do want to, pay somewhat of an attention to that. So I'm going to put this as a dashed line, meaning that it's got a slightly lower degree of probability, but I think that there is still some validity to the area. So understand your risk before getting in on something like this one. All right, well, nat gas, we had our little nat gas area. Price came up into there. That's the one that we had gapped up into the area on the rollover gap, and it's really just been kind of ever since opening into that area. So you may or may not still be in this thing based on this little pop out above. I mean, you got to give it some wiggle room, right? But it's really not doing a whole lot. I'm going to remove these lines from our charts because I just don't feel like that's moving enough for us to even really give it much credence. So make sure that today you are being very careful on your positions. We've had 2 days in a row of very strong market moves. The futures markets early this morning, we're down 9 points in the S&P as of right now, down 18 points in the Nasdaq. Futures markets are showing a fair amount of weakness. So allow yourself that wiggle room, if you will, on your positions, that if you're wrong, take those stops and get the heck out of Dodge. And if you're right, let your winners kind of keep running. That's really the thing we want to make sure that we take out of today. So if you guys have any questions, feel free to send me an email, chuck@iiefinancial.com. Until tomorrow, I will see you soon. Thanks, everybody.